For well-being, there is a part that talks about samskaras, basic attitudes and behavior that are introduced to the children as a lot. Welcome to the 12th episode of Shiksha Sarathi. The Panch Kosha Vikas is the opening of the NCF, and we can connect it to one word: well-being. And today the topic is well-being. It is described as a state of being comfortable, healthy and happy by the Oxford Dictionary. There is a lot of talk about holistic development of all the domains. But to develop them, the overall well-being is necessary. Well-being that is not really tangible, but can be seen in the way a person fosters both inner and external development. The Indian vision of education has a broad and deep adaptation of learning about the external world in consonance with learning about one's inner self. Well-being not only affects the individual, but also reflects in the community and all the people around the individual. It reflects the body, the hand, the head, and the heart, as Gandhiji said. The internal health is the first step to external well-being, and it is important to understand and relate this to the way we design our interactions, the way the learners must spend their time and energy, and the curriculum for children right up to class 12. Hundreds of years back, Aristotle came up with a concept which says eudaimonia or eudaimonia, which is contented state of feeling comfortable, happy and prosperous. We can relate this directly to the learning environment and needs to be all of the mentioned aspects of physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and a balance of play, learning, rest, and interactions. We have rich roots, and our traditional Gurukul system of education, one of the oldest in the world, not only fostered holistic development but created the ideal environment for basic living, providing a vast range of knowledge and exploration of one's capacities to adapt to the basics with a deep examination of one's inner self and growth. As I was researching for today's episode, the very beginning of the NCF was so vast that we can use this as a catalyst to research and learn more. For example, knowing that the Vedic era, the natural system of Ayurveda looked at all aspects of healing, the biological, psychological, sociological and cultural. There is an emphasis on outdoor learning spaces which are in sync with nature, the sun, the air, the greenery. What do we see today? There is talk about eating freshly cooked meals, herbs that help the nervous system, and a routine that includes an emphasis on sleep, rest and quiet times. Please reflect on how children eat their meals, how much digital distraction accompanies even the most mundane biological task of well-being, of chewing food, tasting it and consciously digesting it. For well-being, there is a part that talks about samskaras, basic attitudes and behavior that are introduced to the children as a logical progression to different phases of the child's life and mark the distinct milestones. I read this paragraph that speaks about how there are marked times to introduce children to different aspects of life and well-being, like the Annaprashna, that is the first time you feed solid to the child, emphasizing on breastfeeding being the first way the children should be nourished. The Vidya Aramba, or the introduction of the child's mother tongue, the alphabet, so that the child is introduced to life skills of in a very simple manner, and then righteousness, wealth, pleasure, salvation, all of this were phases. So what are the aspects that we have to emphasize on the well-being of children and the adults taking care of them. So physical well-being is necessary for all functioning. Therefore, with all the technological advancement and sedentary lifestyles, there is a need to set a routine and be consistent, and that's the key to the physical well-being. Exercise blocks negative thoughts, distracts, and group exercise provides bonds and connects with people, and there is a lot of energy in exchange. So you have to look for more ways to interact with people. Exercise is great for moods and feelings, and fitness is so important. It actually balances the healthy hormones. Fresh food is another very, very good route to well-being, much needed in this era of frozen food and fast food. As a nation, our kitchens were always open, and Annapurna, a beautiful word for the giver of food and nourishment, was how we associated our interaction with food. So, local seasonal fruits and vegetables, simple home-cooked meal food patterns have to be considered. We are moving this generation and ourselves to a completely different lifestyle. It's a good time to pause, relook at the way we plan our home menus, what children carry to school, and actually consolidate and record how many times we simply offer food and a meal without the nutritional consideration for growing children, because it is going to affect not only their external but internal growth as well. Sleep is a time when several hormones are released into the bloodstream, including the ones needed for growth and tissue repair. Each time we go to a doctor, the first question they ask us is, how is your sleep pattern? It's a natural process we all deny. So well-being is connected to sleep, and so many ailments seem to be touching even young children and adults. So be firm on following a regular sleep pattern to activate the body clocks and improve our well-being. Relax and remove all gadgets 30 minutes before sleep. Bedtime reading seems to have just gone out of fashion. Bring it back. The lights emitting from our digital devices are supposed to be suppressing our sleep hormones and keep us distracted. Be conscious of that. 7 hours of uninterrupted sleep should be our mantra. That should be our goal for well-being. Our most precious and natural gift of life, our breath, our connect with life, can be the best healing for our well-being and an inexpensive route to wellness. Yoga can be the family time. Even 15 minutes can be a beginning. In schools, the brain breaks can be simple postures, eye exercises, shoulder exercises, relaxation techniques for both teachers and children will go a long way. We must make time for them in our daily curriculums. All the natural free resources seem to be the most neglected in terms of our consciousness for well-being. So instead of capsules, can we not look at vitamin D that comes from the beautiful shining sun that comes to meet us on time, absolutely every day? Now for the most favorite time that I enjoy is the well-being with people, the need for better social interaction, the one-to-one connects, the eye contact, the physical touch, which is so very, very important. In times today, we do see that there is a lot of digital connect, but the one-to-one connects are going missing. Simple things like eye contact, understanding that somebody may be not going through that point of well-being seems to be missing. So when we say well-being, what I cover today are the very basic aspects. We are going to have our next episode where we are going to actually talk about the mental well-being, because that's where the trigger comes for the overall wellness of any individual, be it children, be it adults who are taking care of children and themselves. And I feel that when we design our work around us, a little bit of more consciousness to each of these things will definitely help us. The other day I was talking to a group of teachers and I asked them, that, what do you wish that you have? So they all just smiled and said that a little more time to look after ourselves. So I think we have to be conscious of the fact that while we are demanding so much, we also need to give people time to pause. You walk into offices and you see so much of restlessness, and then you have to have camps to calm them down. So why can this not be a routine? Why can we not be conscious that the balance of our work and pattern is directly related to the well-being of children and the people around us? So let's look at it more carefully, research it a bit, and bring it into our daily lives. And we'll see you in our next episode. Thank you.
Square, square, panda.